This is Crime Cruise Love Boat Exposed.
Saturday on the Love Boat.
The podcast that hunts down and tears apart shenanigans on this classic TV show.
I see an awful lot of bodies who really have nothing to be ashamed of.
When laws, morals, and behavior go rogue.
She's a student of marine biology, and I know a lot of Marines who like to study her biology.
We are there.
Saturday on the Love Boat, Julie's game to join an all-male club, but she's shocked at the things they ask her to do.
Now, from Studio 109, welcome aboard.
I think it's time you and I got to know each other better. A man gets very lonely at sea.
Yes, I can imagine.
Whoa, we are sailing. Has that always been there?
It's always there.
Always been there.
Really? Are you serious?
Well, we are sailing. Yes, it's very true.
All right, I had no idea.
Well, welcome to Crime Cruise Love Boat Exposed.
High seas and low morals.
Yes, high seas, low morals. It's the show where we look back to that hit series through the lens of modern times and we judge them because, you know, there should be judgment in this world. Mm-hmm. We judge them through the types of things that happen on the Love Boat where they would land today.
And probably not so well.
There's a lot of problems. Caleb, what episode is this?
Episode 10.
Oh.
Episode 10.
Producer Caleb, right over there in the corner of the studio. I'm Rob, by the way, and this is Charlotte. Producer Caleb, give us your opinion of what we're about to see. Just a little quick synopsis and prep the audience and Charlotte and myself. What are we going to see here?
We see some fat shaming, probably some sexism, some assault. We see some littering.
Damn it, everything. We're going to see everything today.
Yeah, I didn't hold back this episode.
Oh, good. I'm ready to rock and roll.
I am ready to dig in. And ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Love Boat, episode
10,
season 1. Here's our first clip.
Wonder you're not married.
I beg your pardon.
Too skinny. Men want women with something to hold on to. But don't worry. A little fettuccine, a little ravioli, un poco di linguine. And 10 pound value by Mazda. 15 by Porto Vallarta.
By Acapulco, you could be the anchor.
All right. That was Julie, the cruise director, who is kind of waifish. She's kind of thin. And the gentleman who's talking to her is Al Marinaro, I think is Al Marinaro. How do I pronounce that, Caleb?
And it sounds like a goddamn dish that I would order at an Italian restaurant.
He played Al on Happy Days after Arnold left, and Arnold was played by Pat Morita, and I think he probably went off to do Karate Kid or something like that. And then they sent this kind of rotund gentleman.
I was just about to throw in like a Danielson reference. You can't like cut the Karate Kid.
No, we're going to leave that.
We're going to be like wax on, wax off, bitches.
Well, he's a big gentleman.
He is.
And he's shaming.
Well, yes, that, and
he also manhandled
he
her.
Totally did.
Yeah.
Like he was feeling for something that he didn't find, and that's why he's like, we need some fettuccine and you.
Forcefully grabbed onto her arms and
he did.
Shook her a little bit. Yeah. It's a little intimidating and a bit forthcoming. He just
first of all
jumped on her.
You guys, he's gross. And the fact that he's even commenting on her body in any sort of way is gross. Right. Because there are so many things I could say back about him right now in this moment. Like, not even with the 10-foot, if you were the last motherfucker on earth, no. That's what Julie should have said. But it wouldn't have gotten past the censors, but this did.
I'm disappointed in him and his character. I know him as lovable Al from Happy Days. Mm-hmm. You know, friend of the Fonz, Richie, Potsy.
His character is very mean in this show.
Really? So he's playing against character.
Then why didn't they just throw him over the boat? Has anyone ever gone overboard on this boat?
Technically yes, technically no.
Well, that's vague.
Well, I mean, remember
what does that mean?
I can't remember which episode it was, but when the captain fell into the water because of that bad luck curse thingy. So, I mean, he fell off the boat, but he wasn't really on the boat. So, yes and no.
I don't have any idea where this storyline's going to go.
Me either. I'm excited. Let's find out.
So when are you getting your divorce? Mom! You ready for dinner?
Well, rather hang out in the moonlight with you.
Jeff, we've known each other a long time. How come all of a sudden?
Well, I guess I've been too busy messing up my life. First I lost up my marriage, and then I was living with someone for a while that didn't work. Maybe this time I'll get lucky.
There's a kiss. It's a deep one.
What is it, Jeff? Why do I feel like your heart isn't in this?
What are you talking about? You're a fantastic girl. I've always thought you were beautiful and sensitive. I think you're great.
This isn't gonna work, is it?
Nope.
Is it your wife?
Yep.
Okay, one, if a guy ever said, I want to be with you because you're sensitive and cute, I would literally walk away. That means nothing. And he's married. Okay, let's go back to the part. He's married.
Yeah, there's that.
Like, isn't this also like the third time that Julia's had someone from her past that she used to hook up?
I'm starting to relate with Julia.
Like, what is it? I'm kind of concerned for her. Is she being stalked by like ex people that just show up at her job and just park themselves for a week? Like, I wouldn't be comfortable with that.
And the gentleman, he's a good-looking guy. He's
actually a pretty good looking guy.
Robert Urich.
Oh my God, I saw him at the old Oyster House in Boston with my parents when I was a kid.
Wow. He was so popular, too. He had his own series, probably a couple times. One of his series was called Spenser for Hire, where he played a detective, I think, or a private eye. And the other show was Vegas. It was a show called Vegas, and he played the character role, if I have this right, of Dan Tana.
Oh, Dan is also a great restaurant in Los Angeles.
Yeah. Your thoughts, producer Caleb?
Well, give you a little context. He's going through a divorce. Not really. I think he's talked about a divorce with his wife, but they're still living together. They're still married. The show needs to stop home wrecking and cheating, showing people cheat on each other. Like, it's
the 70s,
it's such a
Caleb.
common theme.
Oh, it's happening right down the street right now as we talk. So we have the show. Come on now.
100%,
Do you have an address?
Yeah.
I have many addresses. I can give you lots of them.
But it's, and like, I don't know. Yeah. Every episode there has to be someone cheating or home wrecking or something of the sort. It's like, guys, stop.
Right. I think I would have an answer to fix that problem on the Pacific Princess.
Have security for one.
No,
maybe that would help.
I don't think so, because
really?
it would probably up the ante of weirdness. You get security, these kind of Mickey Mouse cop guys. No, I'm thinking Captain Caleb.
I'm Captain. Okay.
If you were put in place over Captain Meryl Steubing, things would run better.
May I be the doctor, please, and have my bedroom and my examination room?
That would be a flip of reality, and it would work, I think.
I think it would totally work.
I'll get in touch with Aaron Spelling's
Thank
people.
you. I think he's dead, but you might have to.
Well, he's got people still.
Yeah, I'm sure he has people. Okay, next one. Let's do it.
Let's just roll.
When mother-in-law comes to visit, how long should she stay?
It's one of the Gabor sisters.
It depends whether you're home or not.
You drink, darling?
In a moment, love. But why do we always
And
pick on
husband's Leslie
mother-in-laws?
Nielsen.
Why don't we pick on father-in-laws?
She's on the
Or for
social
that matter, why don't we pick on ourselves?
walking away.
After all, none of us are perfect. Well, almost none of us. You have a very popular wife.
Hey, how would you like a specialty of the house? Supervised and given the careful attention of Russ Blanchard himself.
Well, you just made me an offer I can't refuse.
Good.
Okay, first of all, I have to say, Leslie Nielsen and Zsa Zsa Gabor are literally two of my favorite people. When Zsa Zsa slapped that cop in LA, I was like, yes.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And then Leslie from Airplane, you can't. I mean, Naked Gun, like, you can't really do anything more. And the best part about him is that he started out as a totally, like, dramatic, serious actor, like a real deal. And now he's just effing funny. Those people were brilliant to have cast him in something funny, because I really think it gave him an entirely...
I think it was the Zuckers.
It is the Zucker brothers. You're totally right. So anyway, I love this scene. I love Zsa Zsa. I'm not so excited that her husband tried to pick up another chick literally 20 feet away from her. But, you know, Zsa Zsa's fierce. So maybe he just needed a break.
The thing is, again, I'll give you a little context. She is the resident celebrity on board. That there usually is one each episode, like the celebrity in universe. And she does a talk show, I think, gives people advice. And so she basically just spends the whole episode blowing off her husband.
Right.
Like, she's ignoring him. And he's like, honey, we're here on a holiday. Why are you working? And she's like, oh, we'll spend time. Don't worry. And then every time she just gets caught up in giving people advice. And he's like, honey, let's relax. And she's like, no, I'll get there later. Give me a couple of seconds.
He's neglected.
Okay, girls, look, if you're not paying attention to your husband, some other bitch is. So I'm just saying, learn from this.
Well said.
Thank you.
Well said.
That's all
it's
I have
advice
for
with Charlotte instead of advice from Caleb.
That was some good
There you go.
advice. I
Yeah.
think we do well together, Caleb.
Right, you will find life advice on this show. Our show, not on the Love Boat.
Maybe not the life advice you want, but you'll find out the life advice I live by.
Like reality.
Like reality.
Cold.
Reality check you.
Yeah, we will reality check you on this one.
All right, on to the next clip. It's Al. He's a chef. He's the big guy that was telling Julie she's too skinny, and he's throwing sauces overboard.
What are you doing?
You like ketchup? Swim for it.
Take this ketchup with you.
I'd rather die.
Don't tempt me.
So something has gone overboard.
Yes, ketchup.
Ketchup littering. He's committing a crime, I guess. Like,
Yeah, he's literally destroying the sea.
Yeah.
It's obvious that, what's his name on the show? I know he's Al. By the way,
remember.
I think they like to call him Al because a lot of times, like Tony Danza, right? On, what's that show he was on?
He's the boss. She's the boss.
Who's the boss?
Who's the boss?
And
But she
also
was
on
the boss.
Taxi,
Yeah.
they would call Tony Danza Tony. Whatever character he played, they called him Tony. And they said because he was kind of thick and it was just easier if they just called him by his real name. I don't know if that's true or not, but that was the story. So I'm wondering the same about Al. Because his name's Al Marinello. I don't know how to say it.
Marinara.
Yeah, I was going to say marinara.
Fettuccine, Alfredo.
Why am I attempting that
I
name?
don't know. We have Google in front of us. We're not even pretending today.
But yeah, so we see him littering overboard in international waters. So
Yep.
I'm sure that breaks a couple rules, couple conventions.
He got about 6 bottles of ketchup into the water.
Yeah, and then the captain threatens his life.
Perhaps you should be thrown overboard, he says. That's Meryl Steubing. All right, our next clip. Leslie Nielsen, Zsa Zsa Gabor.
You really get unbelievable letters.
Oh, they usually are from normal, everyday people, you know, with real problems. There are some exceptions. Like this woman wrote that her husband's secretary only wears a bra and little panties to the office. Like that, he saves money on the air conditioning.
And what did you advise her?
Well, I told her to tell her husband to cool it in the office. Sorry to be late.
Tell me more.
Well, as the man said, I got millions of
The lady he gave the drink to just sat down next to him.
Right next to him.
This 40-year-old spinster
Wife
read a
on
book
one side.
titled Sex After 70.
Lady and man on the
She
other
wanted
side.
to know if she
Not
has
that
to wait
uncommon.
until
No.
then.
Oh, that's marvelous, marvelous. Ran out of chocolate.
Oh, well, that's perfectly all right. I really don't need the extra calories. And Ross doesn't like it.
Husband gone, new lady gone.
He left. He did?
You even said goodbye to him, don't you remember?
No.
Ain't misbehaving
Isaac.
all by myself.
Singing and going up the steps and delivering to Drew. Wow.
Wow.
And they continue kissing. And I hear like porn kind of
Music.
sax music.
I will say that this episode, the cameraman or whoever was filming or directing really loved these characters kissing. Like the one with Julie, that went on for at least a minute. And I had to cut it in half. And then this one here was also going for a good 30 seconds. And I
Maybe
had
it
to
was
calm it
actually
down.
a porn director they got this time.
With smooth sax
yeah.
going on.
Smooth
And like the
smooth
accidental
sex.
like voyeurism.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is the second time I recall in these first 10 episodes making out or sex happening right under the spouse or girlfriend's nose.
Yeah.
Robert Reed in that one episode with Loretta Swit, where just a scene or two before he was ready to shoot her literally with a rifle on the deck.
Yep.
Yeah, well, every episode has to have someone homewrecking or cheating.
Yep.
Like it's become a bit of a stereotype for the show.
Tell you one thing about producer Caleb, he does not lie.
He does
He
not.
calls it like it is.
He does, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
I reality check.
Appreciate the authenticity of people in this room.
No filter.
We're all
Just
very genuine.
Yeah.
say it how
Come
it
from
is.
different age brackets. And we,
And every kind of belief.
I can't believe that.
I mean, to be honest with you, like None of us should be in a room together and hanging out. No, in the political world that we live in today, it wouldn't make any sense. But look at all of us.
Right.
Look at
It
us.
all makes sense. We're totally fine.
And
We're
we all
friends.
come together calling them out.
just
We're looking at what happens on this
We're
show.
just saying, you guys, you can literally sit in the room with people you don't agree with politically and still be friends and like hang out.
And come to the same kind of conclusions.
Right, and laugh
wait.
about shit.
Are you saying that that's the mature thing to do, and the smart thing and respectable thing is to be friends with people who disagree with you?
Yes.
What?
Isn't that crazy?
Huh?
Yes.
Crazy
Charlotte, what are you on about?
I don't even know.
Wow.
There's something different in my vape tonight, maybe, because I had like freedom love right now. I don't know.
We'll be right back with more Love Boat Exposed. Go to loveboatexposed.com to send us a message, leave a voicemail, or learn more about the show and our team. Who knows? You might just be invited to the captain's table.
It's a pleasure to welcome you aboard. I'm speaking for my entire crew.
You know, I'm reminded of a lyric from the Love Boat song.
Oh, no.
There's a song?
Well, it's the song that opens every episode.
Oh,
we
right.
don't use it because I don't want to get,
Copyright.
love, exciting, and new.
New.
And I'll leave you with that.
It's not really new when it's the 10th episode. We're seeing people make out with another
but
person
Caleb,
who's
it's
married.
new to Leslie
It's new to
Nielsen
them.
and the lady he met on the deck.
Because you know what? It's always new, because
That's
it's
true.
always a different crew, it's different people. It's always new.
Fair enough. That's true.
All right, onward.
Do this if it wasn't for your stubborn captain. All I ask for is an apology. In a right.
Chef Al. He's got the
The
entire...
chef walked down on strike, so the rest of the crew have to fill in on the kitchen.
Cake! What are we going to do about dessert? Here you are, Chef Borga. Just what you asked for.
I know he would apologize. Stubborn man, that captain, but at least he knows when he's been defeated.
Then you will return to the kitchen.
Of course.
Oh.
Maestro's place is with the orchestra. Not in the audience.
My sincere apologies, Antonio Borga. Didn't I tell you he'd break first? I knew he'd crumble once he realized we could do his job as well as he could.
There's a scam in play here.
I talked over the moment that was highlighted in that scene. They committed forgery.
Oh, yeah.
Straight up. They forged the documents, the papers, the apologies to the captain and Antonio, who's the chef.
Okay, Antonio's his name. That makes more sense.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
it's not Al.
Okay.
they jokingly, I think Julie jokingly said, "Is anyone good at committing forgery?" And then ha ha ha, soundtrack, and then the next clip was them literally committing forgery.
Well, it's not that hard to do.
Never really is.
But
even before Photoshop.
illegal.
it
Yeah,
wasn't.
right. I mean, it's not that hard. And back in the day, they just like cut and copy stuff and put it on a piece
Yeah,
of paper.
literally like cut and paste.
Yeah.
So we see a plot device here where both are being set up, both characters that have had a fight or some kind of conflict, and then the people that want them to get back together are pretending that they've each written each other apology notes when nothing of the sort has happened. I've seen this kind of thing play out a lot on Three's Company and many other sitcoms, and we're seeing it again. Let's move on. I perhaps said too much.
No, you did.
What is taking so long?
Don't ask me. I've never had any babies.
Well, don't ask me. I've never had any babies either. Has Doc ever delivered a baby before?
What?
Listen.
You missed something.
I've never made soup for 600 people before, but it turned out great. I'll be the judge of that.
We have nothing to worry about. I'm sure Doc is doing a wonderful job.
Well, I'm sure he is. I mean, that's one of the things that constantly amazes me about Doc.
Yeah, he spent so much time between
Isn't he
ladies'
really
legs. Of course he got to deliver a baby.
He is, isn't he? I mean, it's not a nickname, just.
He is a doctor, right?
Has my new passenger boarded?
Not yet, sir.
Creepy.
Yeah, what's taking so long? Has the doc delivered a baby before? He really is a doctor, isn't he?
I'm not sure.
What's taking so long? I don't know, you asshole fuck. Maybe because she's having a baby.
And Captain Metal soothing, he's
maybe
like,
that's why.
I'm checking my watch. I'm not sure what's going on here.
Is he a doctor? We're asking the question now when there's someone giving birth? Is he a doctor? Was this never brought up before?
They work with him for years.
Baby.
Caleb, explain,
yes.
please.
Yeah, so the third plot line, so every episode there's three storylines.
Stressful.
One is with Antonio, one is the celebrity woman, the talk show host, whatever, and then the third one is this pregnant lady's on board, and she is without her husband. She's all alone on this cruise, and she's pregnant. Surprisingly, the doc doesn't try to sleep with her, but she's with the doc for like the whole episode, and then she goes into labor.
Who lets their wife go on a cruise at 9 months pregnant with a boat? She's rocking on a boat. You're going to let her go by herself? Like, what?
And hanging with the doc.
And
he'll do a pregnant woman.
He would do any woman.
But I'm surprised. There was a clip that I cut out because I wasn't really sure, and then the rest of the episode kind of proved me wrong. But there was one bit where he kind of like looked her up and down, and I was like, oh, is the doc trying to sleep with a pregnant woman? But no, he's just making sure that she's
sized her up.
Okay, he did. But yeah.
Well, first of all, there's nothing wrong with a pregnant woman. I would hope that the husband's out there doing it.
Amen.
So I'm just saying, but a stranger? Like what? I guess there's like OnlyFans for that. There probably is a website for that.
Oh God,
there's probably 100 of them, thousands, millions, probably.
Speaking of producer Caleb, how's your OnlyFans page going?
100, so good. My elbow content couldn't have been better. I'm doing so well right now.
Good. We're proud of you, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, we are so
It's like our
proud.
son in a way.
I know, so proud.
He's out there learning his, the ways of the world.
Showing off my elbows. Yeah.
Well, hi.
Well, hello.
It's the doc.
Don't tell me the whole cruise went by and I never met you.
Well, you're meeting me now.
It's better late than never.
Well, he's groping her.
That's the man who was with the pregnant lady.
And that's the lady who was with dear Beverly's husband.
Then he's just...
Sex fiend. Well, Janelle, I am sorry I didn't meet you earlier.
Well, someone called him out.
Yeah, that was like a last-minute scene thrown in just to let the audience know, in case they've missed previous episodes, that the doc is a scumbag.
Yeah.
I don't really understand what was going on with those two old ladies, but throughout the whole episode, they would just come in every now and then and just assault a passenger or a crew member. And like, they were just like the most judgy, like two old ladies ever. But I don't know if they were the audience. They were just making assumptions like, you sex fiend, and then just slaps him, or you old bag, or you bad man, because they were the same people who slapped that man with Julie. You sex fiend, and the doc trying to sleep with this woman. And
I'm surprised he didn't rebook her on the next cruise. He's a doctor after all.
One question I have. What happened with Dantana, Spenser for Hire, Julie's initial kiss? She met this dude, and
he'd go on cruises and holidays because he's like a travel planner or something. And plot twist, spoilers, he was actually the husband of the pregnant woman. They were on the same cruise at the same time. They didn't know that they were on the same cruise at the same time.
That's huge news. Thanks for sharing it.
Jesus.
Wow.
And yeah, so she was basically sleeping with this man who was married. And
his wife was pregnant.
And his wife's pregnant, yes.
Well, thank you for mentioning this.
On the same boat.
I was going to mention this, but there wasn't any clips at all of them just being like,
well,
hey,
I'm glad we asked.
Hey,
'cause
you.
It made no sense that he was making out with Julie at first, and then they just forgot the plot line. Wow, that's interesting.
Thanks.
One other thing that I have here, another plot device that's used all the time in current TV shows as well, and movies, and that is the old lady thing. Even back in the Andy Griffith Show and stuff, there's the little town gossips. They're two older women usually, and they're always in the background just chatting. Three's Company had it a lot. And
Well, it's like the dudes in the opera box with the Muppets.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're just observers, spectators.
Yeah.
They like to give their
I think
judgment.
in the theater they call that the choir.
Huh.
Right? I don't know.
I'll go for it.
I will also say that trope, that plot line, it happens in real life, in small towns. When I lived in France, I was in a very small town of about 1,000 people. When I first moved in to my host parents' house, a couple of older ladies came around the block to just to chat with my host mom.
Yes.
Just randomly out of the blue. But of course, there was little looks, little glances at me, the new kid, new foreigner.
That's not what they were thinking. They were thinking fresh meat, baby. Their husbands are dead and gone. They're ready to go.
Had that happen.
I was
rolling.
Right.
I was 14, so if that was the case,
Well, it's
very
France.
Wine,
concerned.
14-year-olds.
It's been hiding out there for years. Legit, it's fine.
Rules do not apply in France.
What happens in France stays in France. That's the
God.
saying, right?
Probably not.
Now that wraps up the Love Boat Season 1, Episode 10. And we're going to have a juicy episode next week, Producer Caleb, for Episode 11.
Yes.
You're promising that.
My jaw was on the floor.
Huh?
Let's go.
You're promising it. Will he deliver? Stay tuned for next week's show.
Make sure you like, subscribe, share it with a friend. We'll see you next time.
We're sailing away, but we will be back with a new episode of Crime Cruise, Love Boat Exposed. Make sure to subscribe. We're on all your favorite podcast platforms. And connect with us at loveboatexposed.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure, but I have duties on the bridge. Good evening.